Dear friends, I am Professor D.J. Trivedi, going to take your lecture number 2 related with Boolean algebra and logic gates. This is related with the electronics paper EL 2501. We have already studied the first lecture related with the Boolean laws and theorems, and using that Boolean laws and theorem, complicated Boolean expression can be simplified. That we have seen. Now, sorry. In a second lecture, we are going to take an overview of the logic circuit. The first thing, what is logic gate? Last time also, in a classroom also, as well as online lecture also, I have explained and given the definition of logic gates. Logic gate is a digital circuit. It is electronic digital circuit. It has one or more inputs and only one outputs. That means it can have either one input or more than one input, 2, 3, 4, etc. And it can have only and only one output will be there. Inputs and output of a gate is logical 1 or logical 0. Here the word logic is used because the values of 1 and 0 are not fixed. That means corresponding to the logic 0, normally we put it 0 volt. Corresponding to 1, if it is TTL gate is there, it is going to be plus 5 volt, and if it is CMOS is going to be there, then corresponding to 1, it will be plus 10 volt. That means corresponding to 1 and 0, the voltage are not going to be the fixed. That's why it is called the logic variables. The gates which performs logical or and not operations are known as the basic logic gates. So you know very well, you have studied this thing that and or and not operations of the Boolean algebra are the basic operations, and corresponding to that the gates which are going to be materialized is known as the basic logic gates. Now truth table. What is the truth table? Truth table is nothing but the input output possibilities. That means if there are logic variables are there, corresponding to that number of variables, each variable can have any two values, either 0 or 1, and hence 2 raised to n. N corresponds to the number of variables. That different combination of the logic variable is going to be possible. So if there are two variables are there, then 2 raised to 2, that means 4 possible combination is going to be there. If there are 3 variables, 2 raised to 3, that means 8 combination is going to be possible. And if there are 4 variables is going to be there, 2 raised to 4, that means 16 input combination is going to be possible. And corresponding to each combination, what will be the output of the circuit is required, that is called the truth table. So a truth table is a means to describe how the output of a logical circuit depends on the logic level present at the inputs. The table lists all possible combination of logic levels present at the inputs along with the corresponding output. There are 4 entries for the 2 input truth table, 8 entries for the 3 input truth table, and 16 entries for the 4 variable truth table, and so on. The number of input combinations will be equal to 2 raised to n for n input truth table. The list of all possible input combination follows the binary counting sequence, and so it is easy task to prepare a truth table. Now, what type of the gate still you have studied? Listed below the different type of the gates. The basic logic gates are AND gate, OR gate, NOT gate, and from that the universal logic gate which are derived is nothing but the NAND gate and NOR gate. You have also studied about the XOR gate, and when the XOR gate is going to be followed by a NOT gate, then it is called XNOR gate. So these are the various gates you have to understand here. In this table 3.5, the summary of this logic gate is given. The first column is naming of the gate, that is the first gate is going to be AND gate. The symbol of this AND gate is like this. The AND gate which is having a two inputs A and B, and its output is going to be Y, and Boolean expression for this AND gate is represented like this: Y is equal to A and B, or A dot B, you can see that. And in the last column there is a truth table is given which is having two inputs. So there are four possible combinations: 0 0, 0 1, 1 0 and 1 1. For each combinations, what is A dot B will be there, that is represented in output. So 0 0 combinations, output is going to be 0, 0 1 combinations, output is going to be 0, 1 0 combination, output is going to be 0, and only when both the input is going to be high, then and then only output is going to be high. That is the condition for AND gate. So any one of the input is 0, then output is definitely 0 in the AND gate. The next basic logic gate is OR functions, that is called OR gate. This is the symbol for OR gate. Remember, there are two inputs A and B, output is going to be Y. And logic operation or Boolean expression for this OR gate is Y equal to A or B or A prime B you can write. Truth table of this one is given here. You can see that any one of the input is high, then also output is high, or if both the input is high, then also output is going to be high. That means in general you can put a statement for the OR operations. That is, any one of the input is high or all the input is going to be high, then the output is going to be high for the OR operations. Similarly, for the NOT gate means output is not the input. It is a complement of the input, and that means if the input is going to be 0, output is going to be 1. If the input is going to be 1, then output is going to be 0. You can see in the truth table. And the Boolean expression for this is represented by Y equals A bar, or it is called complement of A. The output is not A, it is A bar is here. It can be written as A dash also. Remember. Then using these three basic logic gates, if we combine AND gate and NOT gate, the NOT gate is following the AND gate, then it becomes NAND gate. And for the NAND gate, for the NOT gate, only bubble is going to be shown in the symbol. So AND gate, which is followed by bubble, that indicates that this is nothing but NAND gate. And what is the Boolean expression for the NAND gate? Y is a function of A dot B whole bar. Bar indicates that AND gate, which is going to be complemented. The output is nothing but complement of the AND gate, output will be there. So whatever the truth table of the AND gate is there, that is going to be complemented here. You can see that for the same input combinations, output is going to be complemented here. That's why it is called not AND gate. The next gate is the NOR gate. NOR gate is similar way to the NAND gate by replacing AND gate to the OR gate, and which is going to be followed by NOT gate, and that way the NOR gate is going to be possible. You can see that symbol here. This is the OR gate, which is going to be followed by the bubble. Bubble stand for NOT operations. That means NOT OR gate. And this is nothing but Y is equal to A prime B whole bar. That means complement of OR gate. So the output of the OR gate is going to be complemented. So any one of the input is going to be high, output will be 0 here. In an OR gate, in a NAND gate, any one of the input is going to be 0, then output is going to be 1. So this is very important for the NAND gate and NOR gate. This is the characteristic of the NAND gate and NOR gate. So again I am repeating, in a NAND gate, if any one of the input is going to be 0, then output of the NAND gate is going to be definitely 1. And in a NOR gate, if any one of the input is going to be 1, then output of the NOR gate is definitely 0 irrespective of other inputs. Next gate is XOR gate. XOR gate is excluding the condition of all input is going to be high. That means if A and B input is going to be high, then also output is going to be 0. You can see in the truth table. Otherwise, the three condition is going to be similar. And the fourth condition in an OR gate, when both the input is going to be high, that was high in an OR gate, but in an exclusive OR gate, this condition is excluded. That's why it is called exclusive OR gate. And that way, this gate can be utilized as an inequality comparator. What is the meaning of inequality comparator? If the inputs are different, either it is going to be 0 1 or 1 0, the output is going to be high 1 1. But if the inputs are going to be the same, if A is equal to 0, B is equal to 0. then output is going to be 0. A is equal to 1, B is equal to 1, then also output is going to be 0. It indicates that if the inputs are same, the output will be 0, and inputs are different, then output is going to be high. So this way, exclusive OR gate can be utilized as an inequality comparator. It compares the two inputs, and inputs are going to be different, then and then only output is going to be high. Inputs are going to be the same, output will be 0. An XOR gate which will be followed by NOT gate, then it is called XNOR gate. You can see that XOR gate, and then by NOT gate it is shown here bubble. So this is the complement of XOR gate, that is going to be XNOR gate, and the output of this combinations or same combination of input, output is going to be complemented. So here it is 0, here it becomes 1. Here it was 1 1, that becomes 0, and last which was 0, it becomes 1. So this is known as a XNOR gate. What is the logic symbol for that one? For XOR gate, the logic symbol is nothing but A direct sum of B, or you can expand in the Boolean expression A bar B or A B bar. In a case of the XNOR gate, it is a direct product of B, and the Boolean expression is A bar B bar or AB. This way, these are the important gates you should understand properly. Now, Boolean expression for logic circuits. We can represent, if you are given a logic circuit, from that logic circuit, every time you are not going to draw that logic circuit. To show or represent or reproduce that one, we don't want to draw the logic circuit. It can be understood through the Boolean expression also. So you should know how to convert the logic circuit into the Boolean expression. Here some of the example is given here. Any logic circuit, no matter how complex it is, can be described using Boolean expression. The gate are the basic building blocks of the digital system. Here there are example is given. This is the one logic circuit in figure 3.5 is given. Two AND gates which is going to be followed by OR gate. This kind of network is known as a AND OR network. OR gate is following AND gates. That's why it is called AND OR network. Very important network is there. There are two AND gates. Each AND gate is having the inputs A and B. Another AND gate is having the inputs C and D. So what is the output of this AND gate? A dot B. What is the output of the second AND gate? A C dot D. And these are the input of the OR gate. So output of this one A dot B or C dot D is the Boolean expression for this logic circuit, we can say that. Similarly, for this logic circuit, there are two OR gate which is going to be followed by AND gate. So this logic circuit is known as a OR AND network. Here the first OR gate is having the input A or B. So we can write for this one, the Boolean expression is A or B dot C plus D. That is the input for the second OR gate. So this way we can convert a logic circuit into the Boolean expression. Any logic circuit can be converted or it can be represented in a corresponding Boolean expression like this. Here we know that output y, which is a function of four variables a, b, c, d. So here we have written that y output, which is a function of four Boolean variables a, b, c, d, and that is equal to first AND gate output is going to be ab, second AND gate output is going to be cd, and they are the input for the OR gate. So this is equal to ab plus cd. In the second case, the y output, again it is a function of abcd. So here you can write that y is a function of abcd, that is equal to a or b dot c or d. Third circuit is given here. The AND gate which is going to be followed by NOT gate. This is an AND gate. And you can write this way that y is equal to a dot b whole bar, or y is a function of a and b, and a and b AND gate which is going to be complemented. That means bar will be there. So this way, any logic circuit can be represented in the form of Boolean expression. Vice versa, from the Boolean expression, you can prepare a logic circuit also. The operation of the logic circuit is defined by the Boolean expression. A logic circuit diagram can be implemented directly from the expression. Here, the expression is given like this. First example, implement the Boolean expression y is equal to a or b or c. That means output y is a function of three variables a, b, c. So three input OR gate is required, and that means this OR gate should have the three inputs a, b, c. This way, from this Boolean expression, we can prepare a logic circuit using OR gate. Second example is like this. We want to implement the Boolean expression in terms of the logic circuit y is equal to a bar dot b. That means we will be having a AND gate, one of the AND gate which is having a inputs a bar and b. How to obtain a bar? It has to be complemented. So prior to this input a, prior to the input a bar, there should be inverter is required. So a is going to be inverted. That means out of this inverter is going to be a bar. Another input is going to be b, and that way we can prepare this circuit corresponding to this Boolean expression. Similarly, the third example is like this. The y is equal to ab plus ac bar plus a bar bc. So here the output y, which is a function of a, b and c three inputs, but it is having three terms. That means this is the AND function, this is also AND function, and this is also AND function, which is followed by three input OR gate. Output of this one is y1, output of this one is going to be y2, and output of this one is going to be y3. And that way we can represent that y is the OR output of the OR gate. So first AND gate, we require a dot b. That means there should be one AND gate which should have the two inputs a and b. So they like this way, we can draw the AND gate which is having a two inputs a and b. We will be having a second AND gate which is having the input is c bar. That means a will be one of the input and c is going to be complemented through the NOT gate and will be having another input for the AND gate c bar. So y2 is equal to a c bar will be there. And third term a bar bc. So a bar can be obtained by complementing a by inverter. We will be having input a bar, second input is going to be b, and third input is going to be c, and output of this AND gate y3 is going to be a bar b c. And that means for this OR gate there will be three inputs y1 or y2 or y3. That means this Boolean expression is represented in terms of the logic circuit. It is implemented in terms of the logic circuit. So this way we can convert a Boolean expression into the logic circuit also, and from logic circuit we can represent them into the Boolean expression also. So this is very important, you should know, and you have to understand for any complicated circuit you should able to convert from Boolean expression to the logic circuit and vice versa. Next topic 3.4 is the De Morgan's theorem. This De Morgan's theorem also you have studied actually in a 12th standard, but that was for two variables. Now it is in a general for n variables will be there. De Morgan was a mathematician. He has added these two theorems to help the Boolean algebra, and Boolean algebra is going to be modified and equation can be simplified using the De Morgan's theorem as well as Boolean laws and theorems. De Morgan's contributed the two most important theorems of the Boolean algebra. These theorems plays an important role in the simplification of the Boolean expressions. De Morgan's first theorem states that the complement of the sum of the digital signal is equal to the product of its complement. And you have studied this way, the complement of the sum is equal to the product of its complement. What does it mean? Product complement of sum of the digital signal. Digital signals which contains the n variables. Variables may be A, B, C, etc., etc. We are taking the sum of this variable A or B or C or D, etc., etc., or N. And if this summation is going to be complemented, that is called complement of the sum of the digital signal. This is equal to, if we inverted each variable first and then take ending this variables, that is called the bubbled AND gate. A bar dot B bar dot C bar dot etc., etc. dot N bar will be there. In other words, when the ORing of the variables are inverted, it is same as inverting each variable individually and then ending this variables inverted variables. That means we can say that we are having a OR gate, and OR gate which is having the inputs A, B, C, etc., N, which is inverted, so complemented, complement of sum of the variables, that is equal to the product of its complement. That means each variable is complemented. This bubble indicates prior to the AND gate, the bubble indicates that is going to be the inputs are inverted through the inverter. And complete triangle and bubble is not shown, but only bubble is shown. This indicates this is bubbled AND gate. So the NOR gate is converted into the bubbled AND gate and they are equivalent to each other. That truth table are going to be identical. The small circle at the input of the AND gate indicates that the input signal is inverted first and then given to the AND gate. De Morgan's second theorem states that it is opposite to this. De Morgan's second theorem states that complement of the product of the digital signal is equal to the sum of its complement. That means first the Boolean variables are going to be ending them A dot B dot C dot etc., etc., N, and then they are going to be complemented. That means this is the thing, but the NAND gate which is having n inputs A, B, C, D, etc., etc. This is equal to, first the variable is going to be complemented and then that variable is going to be ORed. That means A bar or B bar or C bar or etc., etc., or N bar will be there. In other words, when the product of the variable is inverted, it is same as inverting each variable individually and then ORing them. This indicates that this is nothing but the NAND gate, which is equivalent to bubbled OR gate. Inputs are inverted and then after it is given to the input of OR gate. So this is a De Morgan's first and second laws, which is shown here. Here there is a mistake, this bubble should not be there. This is only NAND gate which is having a inputs A, B, C, etc., etc., N. This is equal to, this is the bubbled OR gate. That means inputs are first inverted. Here bubbles is required, which indicates that inputs are inverted and it is given to the OR gate. So NAND gate is equivalent to the bubbled OR gate. They have the identical truth table. So in general, you can say that for the De Morgan's theorem, that means inputs are inverted, AND gate becomes OR gate and OR gate becomes AND gate. So result of this one is this: whatever inputs under the negation is there, and under the negation means bar. Under the bar, whatever inputs are there, they will be inverted and the sign will be changed. That means AND function becomes OR functions and OR functions becomes AND functions. This is a common for first and second De Morgan's theorems. We are taking example related with this one. Simplified the expression. Y is a function of ABCD. It is a variable of 4 variables ABCD output, which is equal to, there are 2 OR gates, each having variable inputs A bar and C. A bar or C is a one output of the OR gate. B or D bar is the another output of OR gate, and they are going to be AND, and then it is going to be complemented. This kind of symbol is given. So given the Boolean expression is equal to this, Using Boolean theorems, De Morgan's theorem, we can say that y is a function of ABCD. Under the negation, this bar, inputs are inverted. What was the input? Inside the bracket, A bar plus C was the input. A bar plus C was the input. That is going to be inverted. That is complemented. B plus D bar was the input. That is complemented. And this AND gate becomes OR operations. You can see the dot becomes OR. Again, we can separate this one, this bracket. Now, this bracket under the negations. So, under the negations, the input A bar is going to be inverted. That means it is going to be A double bar. And C is going to be inverted to C bar. OR gate becomes AND gate here. You can see that. Plus becomes dot here. Here, these are the two individual things. So, plus remains as it is. B is going to be converted to complement of B. That is going to be B bar. And D bar is complemented to D double bar, which is going to be D. Double inversions makes no inversions. So A bar, that means double inversions of A makes no inversions. That means that variable itself A dot C bar plus B bar dot D double bar is equal to be D. So this we can write, this is equal to A dot C bar or B bar dot D. This way, this Boolean expression can be simplified into this forms. Next example is like this. Simplified the Boolean expression. Y is a function of AB, that is equal to A or B whole bar, that means this is a NOR gate, and A bar plus B bar, again it is whole bar. Individually, we can apply the De Morgan's theorem here. So A plus B whole bar, that is equal to inputs are inverted. So A is going to be changed to A bar, B is going to be changed to B bar, and OR function is going to be changed to AND function here. Similarly here, the input A bar is going to be complemented double A bar, B bar is complemented B double bar, and double inversion makes no inversion, means A double bar is equal to A and B double bar is equal to B. Now we know that these are all products. So A bar dot A is equal to 0. B bar dot B is equal to 0. That means final output is going to be 0. Now the third important topics is this 3.5 standard representation of logic functions. So if there is a logic operations is given or Boolean expressions are known as a logic expressions. The circuit which is given to you or Boolean expression which is given to you, which is also known as a logic expressions. And logical functions are expressed in terms of the logical variables. Logical variables are Boolean variables, that is A, B, C, D, etc. The values of assumed logical variables is in a binary form. Either it is going to be low, that is going to be 0, and if it is going to be high, that corresponds to the logic 1. The logical functions can be represented in either of the two forms, either it is sum of product form or product of sums form. Sum of product forms, product means ending function, and sum means summation of the ending terms, and product of sums form, that means the ending of summation terms. The first representation we are going to study is sum of product forms. In short, it is known as the SOP. S stands for sum, that is known as the fundamental sums. O for of, and product for P. So this is called SOP method. As SOP forms, we can represent our logic functions. In sum of product forms, the Boolean expressions are defined by the sum of product terms. This form consists of two or more n terms and that are OR together. Each n terms consists of one or more variables appearing in either complemented or uncomplemented forms. So you understand this way. This form consists of two or more n terms. That means sum of product forms contains two or more n terms, and these two or more n terms are going to be all together. Now for n with n terms, the variables may be in a complemented or uncomplemented forms. That means the variables a can be either a uncomplemented or complemented. That means a bar will be there. And this way it can be appears in a complemented or uncomplemented forms. For example, here it is given the output y is equal to the first n term is ab, which is having two variables a and b, which is form a product. Second term is again a product, which is having a three variables a, b and c bar. And the third term, which is a single variable b. So here there are three terms which are going to be OR, and that's why it is called sum of product equation, where y is OR of the two n terms and input b. The first n term contains two variables a and b. The second term n term contains three variables a, b and complemented of c, that is going to be c bar. And the third n terms contains only one variable, that is going to be b. Now 3 pi 2, second way of expression of logical operations will be like this: product of sums. In short, it is known as the POS method, or it is called product of sums method, product of sums form. In product of sums, the Boolean expressions are defined by the products of sums term. This form contains or consists of two or more than two OR terms, which are AND together. Each OR term consists of one or more variables, and these variables may be in a complemented or uncomplemented forms. For example, y is equal to a or b. This is going to be first OR term. Then second OR term is going to be a or b or c bar. That means second OR terms contains three variables a, b and complemented of c. And third term, which contains only single variable b bar, will be there, where y is the end of the three OR terms. The first OR term contains two variables a and b. The second OR term contains three variables, that is a, b and c bar. And the third OR term contains only one variable, that is of b bar. Next important things, the representation of the sum of product equation and product of sums equation in terms of min terms and max terms. Equation 3.21, which we have studied this, y is a function of ABC is equal to AB plus AB bar, ABC bar plus B bar. This is the sum of product representation. This is equation 3.21. So equation 3.21 is in the form of sum of product, and the output is a function of three variables ABC. But the first term has only two variables and the third term has only one variable. So you can see that in this term, first term which is having only two variables a and b, second term which is having a three variables a, b and c bar, and third terms which is having only single variable b bar. But still this is a sum of product equations. In each term are not containing all the variables. In each term in the sum of product form contains all the variables, then the expression is known as the standard sum of product form, or it is called canonical sum of product form, and each individual term is called a standard sum of product form is called a min term. That means this is also sum of product equation, but this is not a standard sum of product equation. So in a sum of product equation, in each term, if all the variables are present, That means here whatever y is a function of whichever number of variables, this all variables must be present into each term, then that sum of product equation is called a standard sum of product equation, or it is called a canonical sum of product form. And each individual term in the standard sum of product form is called a mean term, and then each individual n terms is known as a mean term. It is called mean term, represented by small m, and it is corresponds with the suffix which represents which number of mean terms it is. The SOP form can be converted into the standard sum of forms by ending the terms in the expression with the term form by ORing the variables which are not present in that term and their complements. How to convert the sum of product equation into the standard sum of product equation now? Because we have to convert first from sum of product equation into the standard sum of product equation or canonical sum of product equation first, and that means in that each term all the variable must be present, and then they are known as a mean term. Then we can write that standard sum of product equation in terms of the mean terms. So let us see how it can be done. That can be done by this way. So in SOP form, by ending the terms in the expression with the term form by ORing the variables which are not present in the term. So in each term, whichever variable is not present, that variable and its complement must be OR first, and they will be multiplied with that term, like this one. Here in a first term, A and B variable is present, but variable C is not present. So the missing variable is going to be the C. So we can take the ORing of C plus C bar, and that should be multiplied with the AB. And that way, here in a for B bar, it is A and C is missing variable. So A plus A bar as well as C plus C bar, that ORing term should be taken, because A plus A bar is equal to 1, and if anything you are multiplying with 1, that expression is not going to be changed, because that value of the expression doesn't make difference. That's why we are multiplying with a variable and or with its complements. The first term of equation 3.23 has two variables, and the third term has only one variable only. In the first term, variable C is missing. In the third term, variables A and C are missing, and hence to get a standard sum of product forms, multiplied the first term by the missing variable and its complements. So we take the ORing functions of C plus C bar, and this C plus C bar is going to be multiplied with the first term AB. So AB into C plus C bar. Second term, which contains all the three variables A, B, C bar, so nothing to do with the second term. In a third term B bar, there are two variables are missing, A and C. So A plus A bar is also multiplied with this B bar, as well as C plus C bar has to be multiplied with this variable B bar. Now using the distributive law, we can expand them. So how it is going to be expanded? The first term is going to be A, B, C. The second term will be A, B, C bar using the distributive law. So this can be converted into ABC or ABC bar. This term is a single term ABC bar as it is. Here it is going to be multiplied using the distributive law. A, B bar, C, that is going to be first term. A, B bar, C bar, that is going to be next term. Then A bar, B bar, C will be the next term, and A bar, B bar, C bar is going to be the last term. Now, whichever term is going to be repeated here, you can ignore that term. You don't have to write again that terms. So from these expressions, Here there are how many terms are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. And out of this, the second and third term are going to be repeated. ABC bar, ABC bar. So for these two terms, you can put only one terms. The first term will be ABC. For these two terms, it is going to be ABC bar. Then the next term is going to be AB bar C. Then the next term is going to be AB bar C bar. Then the next term is going to be A bar B bar C. And the next term is going to be A bar B bar C bar. So this way, we have obtained a standard sum of product equation or canonical sum of product equation. In each term, in each ending term, all the variables are present. So each term is known as a mean term. Now, how to write the mean term for this one? In each term, ABC is there. So I mentioned here the first mean term is going to be ABC. For a variable which is going to be uncomplemented form, I will be represent 1. And for the complemented form, then I will represent 0 corresponding to that variable. And that way I am going to represent A is there, so A is uncomplemented, so that is going to be 1. B is also uncomplemented, that is going to be 1. C is also uncomplemented, that is going to be 1. So ABC, that is a mean term which is having a digital value or binary value is going to be 111. You can convert this binary to the decimal, that is going to be 7, decimal 7. 4 plus 2 plus 1, that is going to be 7. So this mean term ABC can be represented by small m. Small m stand for mean terms, and the suffix 7 represents that this is going to be mean term M7, or it is designated by M7. Similarly, the next one is ABC bar. For A, I will be writing 1. For B also I am writing 1. For C bar, because it is a complemented variables, I will be writing 0. So 110. 4 plus 2, that means it is going to be 6. So this mean term is M6. Similarly, AB bar C, 1, 0, 1. That is represented by M5. Similarly, A B bar C bar, 1, 0, 0. That is going to be designated M4. A bar B bar C, that is going to be 0, 0, 1. This designated as a mean term M1. Last one, A bar B bar C bar. This corresponds to 0, 0, 0 binary value, which is equivalent to M0, and hence we can write now the equation for this. Equation 3.24 can be written as a sum of the mean terms. So standard sum of the product equation or canonical sum of product equation can be represented in terms of mean terms, that is y is a function of ABC, 3 variables, that is equal to this sigma stand for the summation. So sigma small m stand for mean terms. Which are the mean terms is there? You can see that here. Starting from 0, 0 will be there. So inside the bracket we will put 0, then comma, then 1 will be there, then comma, then 4 will be there, then comma, then 5 will be there, then comma, then 6 will be there, and then comma and 7 will be there. And that way this sum of product equation can be represented in terms of sum of the mean terms like this way. Sigma m 0, 1, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Similarly, in product of sums method, in each term, the product of sums contains all the variables. Then the expression is known as standard product of sums form or canonical product of sums form. And each variable, each individual term in the standard sum of product of sums form is called the max term now. So previously in a sum of product method, it was mean term. Now the product of sums form, it is known as a max term. Here sum of product of sums math form, each term should contain all the variables. then it is called a standard product of sums form, or it is called canonical product of sums form. And each term is known as max term. Remember, the POS, that means POS form, can be converted into standard product of sums form by ORing the terms in the expression with the term formed by the ending the variables which are not present in that term and their complements. For example, here there is a product. There are two sum is there, that summation of a plus b bar, that is one OR term is there. There is another OR term, a or b or c bar is there. Here output y is a function of ABC, but the first term contains only two variables, a and b bar. The third variable c is missing. Second term which contains all the three variables. So in a first term we can OR the missing variables. And how to obtain that missing variable? Missing variable is going to be the c. So c dot c bar is going to be OR with this function. The first term of the above equation has two variables. Variable c is missing, and hence to get the standard product of sums form, the term c in the first term must be ORed. That is, y is a function of ABC, that is equal to a or b bar, or the missing variable with its complement product is going to be added. So plus c bar dot a plus b plus c bar. This can be expanded like this in two terms, a plus b bar plus c into a plus b bar plus c bar, like this, into a plus b plus c bar as it is this term. Now these three OR terms which contains all the three variables, and hence it is called standard product of sums form or canonical sum of product form, that is equation 3.25. Now each term is known as a max term. So each max term we can designate it by capital M here. Min term was designated by small m. The max term is designated by capital M, which is followed by suffix, which is equivalent of the binary value. But here the first max term is like this, a or b bar or c. Remember here, this is opposite to sum of product forms. Here any variable a which is uncomplemented forms, that corresponds to 0, and if it is complemented form, then it corresponds to 1. So a is equal to 0 because it is uncomplemented form, b bar is complemented, so it is corresponds to 1, and c is uncomplemented, again place 0, and 0 1 0 binary value corresponds to decimal value of 2. That means a plus b bar plus c, this fundamental product, fundamental sum, or it is called the max term, which is designated as M2. Similarly, the second M term, a or b bar or c bar. A corresponds to 0, b bar corresponds to 1, c bar corresponds to again 1. So 0 1 1 is decimal equivalent is 3. So this is called the max term M3. Similarly, last term, a or b or c bar. So 0 0 1, this corresponds to 1. So this is the max terms M1 corresponding to a plus b plus c bar. This can be written as like this, equation 3.25, which is a standard sum of product equation, which can be written in terms of the max terms like this. Y is a function of ABC. For product, we are utilizing this symbol pi, capital pi. Then for the max term, capital M, again the bracket, and number of max terms are there. You can see that here the number of max terms are going to be 1, 2 and 3. That's why inside the bracket it is mentioned 1, 2, 3. The sum of product, the uncomplemented variables, corresponds to the logic 1, and complemented variable corresponds to the logic 0. For POS, the uncomplemented variables correspond to the logic 0 and complemented variables corresponds to the logic 1. The min term and max term for three variables are given in a table 3.6. So this is for the three variable table ABC. So how many input combinations will be there for the three variables? 2 raised to 3. That means 8 different combinations can be possible. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0 and 1, 1, 1. So there are different 8 combinations of three variables ABC is possible. Corresponding to the min terms. Min terms can be represented by small m. And for min terms, we know that for a complemented variables, it is 0. So 0 corresponds to the complemented variables and 1 corresponds to uncomplemented variables. So for this min terms, we can write a bar, b bar and c bar. That is going to be m0. A bar, b bar, c, because c is equal to 1. So this is going to be second min term m1. A bar, b, c bar, that is m2. A bar, b, c, that is going to be m3. A, b bar, c bar, that is going to be m4. A, b bar, c bar, c, that is going to be m5. A, b, c bar is going to be m6 and a, b, c is nothing but m7. So this way the min terms corresponding to 4 different combination of this one is represented like this one. Similarly for the max terms, 0 corresponds to uncomplemented variables and 1 corresponds to complemented variables for the max terms. So here we can write A or B or C, that is going to be m0, A or B or C bar, because 1 corresponds to complemented variables, that is going to be m1. You can see that one. Here A or B bar or C, that is going to be m2. A or B bar or C bar, that is going to be m3. A bar or B or C, that is going to be m4. A bar or B bar or C, that is going to be m6, and A bar plus B bar plus C bar, that is going to be m7. So these are the max terms m0 to m7 for product of some form. Sorry. Now some example related with this one. So your understanding will be crystal clear. Find the min terms for the functions. Y is a function of ABC, that is equal to AB bar plus C bar. Solutions. Given the equation is this. Y is a function of ABC, that is equal to AB bar or C bar. Here the first term missing the variable C and second term is missing the variable A and B. This equation can be converted into the standard sum of product form by multiplying the first term. The missing term is C. So C or C bar is going to be multiplied with the first term, AB bar into C plus C bar. Second term is missing with the variables A, hence A or A bar is going to be multiplied and B or B bar is going to be multiplied with the second term. So you can see that A, B bar, C plus C bar for the first term. Second term, C bar is multiplied with A plus A bar and B plus B bar. This can be expanded using the distributive law. That means A, B bar, C, that is going to be first term. A, B bar, C bar, that is going to be the second term. Now for this one, we can expand like this. A, we are taking the only A from the first bracket. A, B and C bar. A, B and C bar. Then A, B bar and C bar, like this one. A is going to be again multiplied with the B bar and C bar. Then we'll take the second variable from the first bracket, A bar, B, C bar, and then A bar, B bar, C bar, that is with the last term. Again, we can substitute like this, A, B bar, C. For uncomplemented, we'll put 1, and for the complemented, we put 0. So for A, 1, for B bar, it is going to be 0, and for C, it is going to be 1. This binary value 101 is nothing but M5, min term M5. Second one, A, B bar, C bar. So it is nothing but 1, 0, 0. That is nothing but the min term M4 corresponds to, we can say that A, B bar, C bar. The third one here, A, B, C bar. A stand for 1, B for 1, and for C bar it is going to be 0. So 1, 1, 0, 4 plus 2, 6. So this ABC bar is nothing but the min term M6. Similarly, A, B bar, C bar, that is corresponds to 1, 0, 0. This is the min term M4. A bar, B, C bar, this is nothing but 0, 1, 0. This is nothing but M2. And this is going to be A bar, B bar, C bar, that corresponds to 0, 0, 0, that is equal to min term 0. Now we can represent the sum of product equation in terms of the min terms, that is output y, which is a function of variables ABC, that is equal to sigma summation. Small m stand for the min term, starting from the lowest order 0, then 2. So 0, 2, then 4, then 5, whichever is going to be repeated, ignore once for them, substitute only once. So 4 was repeated, we have put here once only, 5 and 6. So this is the sum of product equation in terms of the min terms. Next example 3.8. Convert the following Boolean functions into the standard sum of product form and express it in terms of the min terms. Y is the function of ABC, that is equal to AB plus AC bar plus BC. Here the C is missing, so C plus C bar is added. Here B is missing, so B plus B bar is going to be added. And here A is missing, so A plus A bar is going to be multiplied with these terms. Given the functions, you can see that AB into C plus C bar, here AC bar into B plus B bar, and here BC into A plus A bar will be there. They are going to be expanded like this, ABC plus ABC bar plus ABC bar plus B bar C bar, then ABC plus A bar BC, and the repeated terms can be ignored. That is going to be like this equations. And for each min terms, ABC is going to be 1, 1, 1, that is going to be M7. ABC bar is going to be 1, 1, 0, that is M6. Next one is A, B bar, C bar, that is equal to 1, 0, 0, that is M4, and A bar BC is equal to 0, A bar BC, that is equal to 0, 1, 1, that is equal to M3. Here it should be actually C instead of C bar. And the expression can be written as phi is a function of ABC, that is equal to sigma small m 3, 4, 6, 7. This way the equation can be represented in terms of the min terms. Next example, convert the following Boolean expression into standard product of sums form expressed in terms of the max terms. So now we are understanding for the max terms. This example, y is a function of ABC. There are 3 ORing terms, A or B, B or C bar, and A or C bar, A or C. Here the first variable C is missing, here the variable A is missing, here the variable B is missing. So whichever variable is missing, variable with its complement ending that term, and that should be ORed. So you can see that this equation can be converted into the standard product of sums by ORing the first term by CC bar, the second term by A bar, and the third term by BB bar. So y is a function of ABC, that is equal to first term was added with CC bar, A plus B or CC bar, dot second term B plus C bar was there, A was missing, so A dot A bar was added, and the last term is A plus C and BB bar was added here. This can be separated like this. This can be separated in two terms, A or B or C into A or B into plus C bar. Second term, A plus B plus C bar into A bar plus B plus C bar, and the third one is going to be separated like this, A plus B plus C into A plus B bar plus C. This is equal to A plus B plus C. Whichever repeated here, that term should be ignored. So the standard sum of product equation is like this, A plus B plus C into A plus B plus C bar into A bar plus B plus C bar into A plus B bar plus C. Each term contains all the variables. That's why it is a standard sum of product of sums equation. Now we can write in terms of the max terms. The first term is A plus B plus C. Here complemented variables is going to be 1 and uncomplemented variable is going to be 0. So A, B and C are uncomplemented. Corresponding to that we can write 0, 0, 0. Decimal value of 0, 0, 0 is going to be 0. So this is nothing but the max term M0. Second one, A or B or C bar, 0, 0 and C bar is complemented. So corresponding to that I will write 1. So 0, 0, 1 by decimal equivalent is going to be M1. So similarly here A bar or B or C bar, this is equal to 1, 0, 1 and that is M5, and similarly A plus B bar plus C, this is equal to 0, 1, 0, that is going to be M2. So we can write this expression in terms of the max term. Y is a function of ABC, that is equal to capital Pi. Capital M stand for max terms, which starting from lowest one, 0, comma 1, then comma 2, then 5. So this way the max term and min term can be represented. This next topic 3.7, simplification of the Boolean expression. Using algebraic simplification and Carnot map method, we are going to take into the next lecture. Thank you very much, friends.